recipient to win this?
The obvious choice is number 10, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Okay. So Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will come first,
yes,
based on your choice. So second will be who?
I am not too worried about that.
Okay. If you were voting, you would have only one vote.
Oh, of course. I have one vote, and my vote is for...
Why is it that all the candidates are promising that they are departing from the policy implementation efforts of the president?
I have a very huge difficulty when it comes to that, because most of them have been integral in the government, and they will tout some advantages or some policies that they had led that have been able to impact on the performance of the government. Some will say their capacity, or will explain away what they have done with job creation, what they have done with the establishment of new industries, where certain industries have gone because of their impact in government, and then they can turn around and say that there is nothing to defend about this government.
Did you listen to Mr. Kenny Japan? Did you listen to
I didn't listen to him. But the difficulty I have is for some of them who were integral in this government.
Okay.
Some of them who had defended the same government in 2020 based on the record of the performance of this government between 2017 and 2020. They were on their campaign trails. We saw them campaigning vigorously for the retention of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And that was exactly the good people of Ghana listened to them and went back to the polls and voted for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. So how can they turn around and say today, as a government, we don't have a record, or they cannot defend?
So for you,
the reason why I am voting, and if I had a vote, I'll vote for number 10, is that he will not depart from the record of this government. He will not depart from the record of this government. He has been integral. Yes, he has been integral. He will not check his responsibilities.
Okay.
We keep saying that, look, if you look at the performance of this government, from between 2017 and 2020.
Dr. Bawumia will not check his responsibility, but he's the head of government economic management team. What do you mean? Please, your time. We have to end. Why do you want to take all the time? Please. What do you say to that? It's not ironical that the head of government's economic management team, managing providing advisory services, at the end of the day and the policy direction takes us to the IMF, for which we have candidates in there, Kenny Japan, who are saying that if you take us to the IMF, that means that you failed.
Let me start by giving you a quotation. And I quote, "I think the next occupation must take place at the Bank of Ghana, specifically to petition the governor to depreciate himself entirely from the scene."
Gabi Ochiragu.
22nd July.
Contextual.
2014.
Contextual.
2014.
Contextual.
Isn't that ironic?
Contextual. Please stop.
Isn't that ironic?
So when I was speaking, Mr. James,
look,
my good friend was
Oyikwe Otu.
Ayikwe
Otu.
The former.
You heard what he said? Have you heard what he said? He said, so far as he's concerned, Dr. Bawumia should step aside. He shouldn't even try with this one. He's still young. He can come back again. Is it now that you win that you're going to change things? Then that means you didn't have any teeth to bite when you were in government. If you're now going to change things, if you have voted for, and let's say the country decides to vote for NPP again and he is leading, and you want to change things, we couldn't bite. When was the last time the EMT met?
Well, have you heard that they've not been meeting?
When was the last time they met? Who has taken control of that position? Who has? Within the government, who has taken control? With all this DDEP and all these things going on, when did you hear the vice president talking about it? So, the list.
Please put the list there, the ballots.
There are 10. For me, this particular election is not an important one. It's not the important one.
Then which one is?
The important one is the one after this one.
Because this one, everybody seems to
And what happens with the five who don't make it? Where their allegiance will lie? What kind of politics will go on? Who will be castigating who? Who will be insulting who? That is where the issue is. Remember, the 200,000 delegates in that one? I'm telling you, the center focus of this election, the next one, is Ashanti. And there will be
the November one.
Yes, but there will be a surprise.
Historically,
I said something from I said
there will be a surprise.
Historically, what has happened in the super delegates
since you are in this, let me give you
in the main elections. Historically,
it's not fair. You should give me my time.
Oh,
you remember who was the economic consultant in Zimbabwe? You know, we spoke about Zimbabwe just now.
Yes.
There was somebody who was an economic consultant in Zimbabwe at the time the country started going down.
Who?
And that was Dr. Bamuba.
He came here.
He worked with the central bank.
No.
He came here.
No. You know, Zimbabwe was not part of the international economic at the time.
Can you just be disciplined?
You know that Zimbabwe had been suspended from all those things.
You made your point.
You see, so then he's come to Ghana.
On the ticket of the AFD.
Oh, he's come to Ghana. We made him a vice president. He has run this country aground because he's the head of the economic management team. And you sit here boldly and tell the people of Ghana that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will continue with this abysmal performance of Akufo-Addo. When you go out and they lynch you, you say, why have they lynched you? Do you know the anger in people? Do you know how many people want the back of this government? The man himself has distanced himself from the president.
Who?
Mahmoud Bawumia.
It is not true.
And
it is not true.
And you.
Amaliba is not
and
true.
You.
Oh.
And
it
you.
Is not true.
And you are saying that.
And
you are.
That is stating his opinion. You are stating your opinion.
And you are saying that the man will continue his legacy of Akufo-Addo. Look, all these people, there are some people who are striking the right notes.
Like who?
You see, like Ajepong, Kobna Ajepong, striking the right notes. Like Abuaje Jako, striking the right notes.
Kene Japan.
I don't know about that. But these are people too who the delegates will not vote for. You see?
What about Alan?
No, Alan is one of the favorites, so he will be among the 5. But I'm talking about messaging. Messaging and vision. These two guys have
proven.
Toppled the rest. Yeah. You know.
Who and who? Sorry. Who and who?
I'm saying that.
Disrupting.
I'm saying that Kobna Ajepong and Ejako are striking the right notes. Kenya Ajepong is appealing to the grassroots of the party, but most of them are not going to vote. Those who are going to vote are those in positions in the party. As to whether his maverick style would endear those people is another question. But you see, in 2024, if you put together all these candidates, their faces, they will not win the election for the NPP. Because Ghanaians have resolved to extricate themselves from this hardship.
How did you do that conclusion? You did a survey?
Yesterday. I was at the court to file a process, even though the court is on vacation. A lady walked up to me and said that after 2024, we shall vote not only with our thumbs, but with our hands, and then our legs.
You know that's illegal. You cannot do that.
Oh, you should understand where it's coming from.
It's a figure of speech.
Figure of speech. Your school, they didn't teach you that. So, that was a woman who was so desperate and was no more happy with the system that he found himself in. And it's replicating. When you go outside and into town, it's like that. So, my brother, the issue of the Akufo-Addo administration having run this country aground is a clear case of hopelessness, helplessness, and everybody is only waiting for 2025.
You see,
okay, let me read. No, talk. Oh, Mr. Husseini, this one is coming from Nana Otuocha. Oh, let me read some. BEC. Your constituency is which constituency, please?
Okankwe North.
Okankwe North. Yeah. Okankwe North. Isa Husseini. Fuseni Isa Okankwe. You'll be going for the primaries. Thank you very much. Lawyer Jantwa, thank you very much. And then lawyer Amaleba. No, stop this thing.
A lady.
Oh, let me read message. In fact, we write.
Said that.
Listen. I have this one from Nana Otue Champong. He's a known banking consultant. He says, your analysis of the BOG's P&L fails to consider the effects of exchange rates. Don't forget that we don't manufacture anything in Ghana. Hence, the expenditure levels
the government's responsibility?
Fall to the vagaries of the exchange rate. But above all, a whopping 80% of the loss is attributable to the uncontrollable DDEP. Add the exposure to cocoa bond on the loan.
Good morning, Nana.
Who caused some?
And you get 90% of the loss. So that's Nana to champ on there.
Who caused some? Who caused DDEP?
I also have I also have this one from Seth, and Seth said, did the Fiscal Responsibility Act apply to the Bank of Ghana? No. It was to limit government expenditure to at least 5%. What the NPP is not getting is that the BOG governor breached his own statute that established the Bank of Ghana he's supervising. No. Thank you, Seth, for that. Philip Obochi from Qatar says, in fact, for 7 years, Qatar has not received any $1 million for the constituency. What I knew was that COVID-19 money was shared among NPP members. Nothing is working. Okay, let me read more message, okay? Saidu Salaga says, please ask Mr. Husseini to tell us how much in total the government received in fighting COVID-19. As a Muslim, he should be honest than always defending the party, even when it's wrong. Nana Imedu from Jubilee House Communications. He says, of course, Honorable Husseini is discussing the Bank of Ghana. How do you expect him to bring in COVID audits? When he brought in fuel price increments of 2022, you told him to stick to the Bank of Ghana. Roland, you couldn't stick to your principle. Thank you. I like how Mr. Jantwa is dramatically energized this morning. You should bring on the same energy when Cecilia Dapa is in the subject.